نحصل هيك أكو شيء شديجي يجب بعدشنا. In 1976, when I was a little girl, I was 6 years old. My little sister was killed in Tuba City. She was killed right off Main Street in South Tuba, and I think this evening I was telling one of the volunteers here, and he said he was a police officer in Tuba City in 1976 when my little sister was killed, and she was found in the morning, and her body had been thrown into a ditch. I was 8 years old, she was 6. And so I want you to know, as family, that this tragedy can touch anybody. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, how you're brought up. Anybody can be taken from us at any instant. And so there should be no shame in saying our relatives' names, to remember them with beauty and love, because they were God's creation. And I wanted to share my story of my little sister. Her name was Rochelle Marie Tawney, and she was killed in Tuba City at the age of 6 years old. And I still remember her because I played with her. And so I'm standing here with you after 47 years. With the memory of a sister that I could have grown old with. So I want you to share your stories of your loved one, because when you say their names and you talk about it, it heals. And it brings home the fact that they lived here, that they were part of our world, and that every story is valid, every person. And I want Jamie's family to know that I still share the social media posts, and for everybody else, Tammy's family. And then also I want to bring up my niece from Cameron. She was her name was Amanda Dakota Webster from Cameron. She was killed in Kentucky, I think now 2 years ago. She was a union welder on a job project out there, staying at a hotel, and she was just captured in the parking lot, dragged into a motel room and killed. And so I want you to know that it can happen to anybody. So I stand in solidarity with you today. Yeah. I want to introduce Raymond and his family. They're from Colorado River Indian tribe. I'll let him speak.
Hello. First of all, I'd like to just give all praise and glory to God, Jesus Christ, for giving us the strength and the courage to go forward with this, and just for guiding us. In 2016, my sister Cynthia Williams, she went missing, and there was reports of a body being pulled up out of a canal. And my little sister, she panicked, and she asked me to go report my sister. And at the time, I was like in denial. I was just like, that's tweaker talk. That's tweaker talk, and my sister's all right, but she was upset. So, you know, I'm the only boy, and I got 3 sisters. So I went to the tribal police, and I reported my sister missing. And My sister was beautiful. My sister was beautiful. She was smart, and that was probably her curse. I gave her a tattoo on her arm of Korean writing, and I reported that in the missing persons report. And a couple days later, the FBI called, and they wanted to speak with me, my sisters, and my mom, and that can only be for one reason. And then it started hitting home, and it was my sister tattoo that identified her, and that feeling you get of helplessness, lost. She wasn't just murdered on the spur of the moment. She was tortured. Somebody beat her. They shaved her head because she was beautiful. They drew all over her chest. They stabbed her 17 times. They beat her. They rolled her in plastic, and they threw her in a canal. And she didn't die from her injuries. She died from drowning. I mean, she was tortured. And just, like I said, I got 3 sisters, and fighting back the feeling of I wanted to go kick doors in. I wanted to hurt somebody. And that first night was hard. We all got together and we cried. And come next morning, we couldn't sit around. We couldn't sit around and just let the police do their work. We got $5,000 of our own money, and the police and the FBI told us to go and mourn and let them do their job, and we couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. That's our sister, and nobody should be able to tell you how to love your loved ones. We got loud. We made our own reward poster starting with $5,000. We went upriver, went downriver. We went to every restaurant, every bar. We went everywhere. Anybody that would stop and listen, we told them. They told us that you think that you shouldn't let information out because it could ruin the case, but the community wanted to know what happened. Say, look, my sister was brutally murdered. Your daughters are still out there. There's killers out there. Everybody took notice, and we reached out to the radio stations, the news stations, and we had a community march to raise awareness. And people came from all over, from Banning, California, from Yuma, from Needles, just to help. And my sister she wasn't like high in society or nothing like that. She was a drug addict. She was homeless. And whoever did this to her had it in their head that she wasn't worth the time, that it'd be easy. But that was our sister. And we got loud, we got real loud, and we brought the community together through it. The community was outraged. In some traditions, they say not to say their name a year after they're murdered and not to show their pictures. But in some cases, that holds up justice. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not stopping on no one's traditions or nothing like that, but we got loud, and we didn't want to offend anybody. But this is our sister. We got loud, and within that year, the reward went up from $5,000 to $10,000. The tribes took over, and it went up to $15,000. And the killers were caught. They served 2 warrants, and it was her friends. It was people she called her friends. Over $500 in drug money and over jealousy. That's what happened to her. And when the police asked who would do this to her, the first names that we gave up were actually the people that did it, because those are the people she talked about the most. These are the people that went and got her ice when she wanted ice. These are the people that went out and got her cigarettes. These were the ones closest to her that did this really bad to her. They caught them, and in court, they went before Judge CYNTHIA, and she was the first native judge appointed. And they kept saying, my friend, my friend, my friend. And the judge, CYNTHIA, got mad. And she thought she was disgusted. How can you say this was your friend and you did this to him? They got the max. And my sister got justice. But it wasn't, not even, maybe a little bit over a year. After that, Another native sister from our reservation went missing. Cousin, family went missing, and to get that call in the middle of the night asking, hey, what did you guys do? How did you guys do this? You know what I mean? Just giving me the details they didn't want the public to know. And hearing that panic in their voice was the same panic I heard in my little sister's voice, and I got to relive that night all over again. But it's a fire in us now. And that year, which was in 2017, we got together, and she's here. The family is here from the other woman whose name is MOLINA, SHAGGY, YAZZIE. We got together, and that was the second year of the march, and it became called Stand Strong Together, meaning it was represented for the two families that stood together. And not only that, because our reservation split between tribal and non-tribal, more or less, is like for the communities, for our communities that stand to put all of our differences to the side. You know, we got non-tribals that say they get away with everything, and we got tribals that say they get to come on our reservation, and because of jurisdictional issues, they get to harm our women and our people, and they get away with it. And this is the family right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn the mic over to KATRINA, and she'll tell you about what happened with her family.
Good evening, everybody. My name is KATRINA YAZZIE, and this is my cousin, MOLINA YAZZIE. Shaggy, we call her Shaggy. Just like Raymond said, we try to go to the police and file a missing person report for her, and the tribal police told us that maybe she doesn't want to be found. She's old enough. And I had told the police officer, I just got done seeing the news from in Phoenix, there's a 68-year-old male. He was delusional. I said, he has Alzheimer's. I said, why is she different? What makes her any different from him? And when we asked the police to help us, they didn't budge. They said, yeah, we'll give you a call later. We're like, how later? Well, just let us do our job. You guys ain't doing your job. You guys already had told us already that maybe she doesn't want to be found. She's an adult. So after that, I got me and my sisters together. I got 3 other sisters, and I got 8 siblings all together. I got 4 brothers and 3 sisters, including myself. That's 8. But I got me and my sisters together, and my mom and my aunt. And I told them that. I got them together, and I told them, hey, this is what we're going to do. If the police ain't going to help us look for her, we're going to go out and look for her ourselves. I was like, I know where places that she would hang out at. I said, and I know where she would hang out. So I went to those houses, and all those people where I went, they said that they didn't see her, they didn't find her, they don't know where she's at. But the person that said that she was her so-called sister was a friend of hers that the police never, ever, not once did interview. And I got told that there was like 20 people on this list, and only one person out of the whole 20 got interviewed, only because that male was in jail. And he sat there and he cried his heart out. They said, that's what the investigator had told us. Oh, my cousin this, oh, my cousin that. Shaggy, she was always there for me. She never judged me. And I'm like, wow. But they never said anything. They never asked us if they wanted to help us, nothing. So I got my sisters, me and my siblings got together. I went out and I bought flashlights, and I said, this is what we're gonna do. I don't want nobody to know what we're doing. Nobody. Not even social media. Don't even put it on Facebook, because I want to see if we can find her and bring her home. And we kept going day by day, and where there was no luck. And then I had called the police every day, asked them, Any luck on my cousin? Any luck? Anybody say anything where she was at? Nope. No, we didn't get no leads. And I was like, so what are you guys gonna do? What do we have to do to make you guys get up and go try to look for somebody? I mean, yeah, I know that if it's not your family member, you guys won't go get up and go look for them. But I told them that if it was your family member, you guys would jump. No joke. I mean, you'd have the town police, everybody looking out for them. I go, why is she any different? Just because she's native or what? Or just because she does what she does? I said, yeah, she does drugs, she drinks, but you know, hey, so does everybody else, right? But yet you guys want to sit there and criticize and say a bunch of things about her just because she does drugs. She's a human being. She's somebody that we love. She's our loved one, our family member. And I said, but you know what? It's okay though, because you know what? I got me and my sisters, and we're gonna do what we're gonna do, and we're gonna go look for her, even with or without your help. And they're like, oh, is there anything that we can do for you? I was like, you guys done enough. You guys did what you guys said you guys were gonna do. Like sit there and not do nothing. And they told us the same thing what Raymond said about, you know, oh, don't talk to nobody, don't say anything about this case, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, we can't sit back and not say nothing. And so when we went to go look for her around in August, we filed the missing persons report on August 17th. And all the way until the 30th, all that whole time we've been looking for her. And then she appears up into Circle K like about 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning. And then I go, and after all, they say that they never found her, they never see her around town, and everybody's like, yeah, I seen her at Circle K the night before. And I was like, all right. And then like on the 30th, and then September 1st came, and it was still no leads, and we just kept looking and looking. It was dark, you know, and my mom and my aunt and her daughter, Shaggy's daughter, Dorinda, she was yelling at her out the window when we're going down the road, saying, Mom, where you at? I'm calling you, Mom, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And we're going down the Levee Road, and it's dark, a really dark road. And I was like, oh my gosh, this road just feels so eerie. And then so we go, it's like every day we'd go look for her from 5 all the way until 11 o'clock at night, or sometimes 12. And sometimes me and my 3 other sisters had work, but we still went out there looking for her. And then on the 2nd of September, there was still nothing, no leads, nothing. And then on the 3rd day, the 3rd, nothing, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th, and the 8th. And then finally they said that we have a body that we found in the middle of a field down there in Parker, Arizona, where we live at. And I happened to ask my sister, hey, any leads on Shaggy, on where she's at? They're like, no, but we got a call saying that, or a call from somebody saying that there was a body found in the field. And I was just like, okay, well, call me back when you guys get leads, or if they say it's her. And then my sister calls me back, and I was at work at that time. And the moment getting that phone call saying, hey, you know, I don't know if it's her, we're not sure, but I think that's what the guy had told my husband, that's what my sister had said, told my brother-in-law that it was her. And I was just like, so we waited around, and we went down to where she was found at, and we waited for the investigators and the cops, and then they finally came and determined that it was her. But they couldn't determine it was her until after they did dental on her, because she was very, very badly decomposed. And then they ruled her death as a meth overdose. And I had asked an investigator, how can I mean, I know you can die of a meth overdose, but why would you just sit there and say that she died and just sat in the field, in the middle of a field and died there? That just doesn't make any sense. But the investigator was going on saying a bunch of stuff about he had leads on who was there with her, or who was around her, and I was like, but what about the people that were with her when she did pass, before she passed, when she was seen at Circle K? What about those people? I seen that surveillance video myself, and I was like sitting there asking the investigator, because she kept looking in Circle K. She went in Circle K, she got 2 hot dogs and 2 Pepsis, and I was like, she doesn't drink Pepsi. Everybody knows that. That's not her soda choice. Her soda choice was Dr. Pepper. And I was like, and why is she only getting two drinks and 2 hot dogs and 2 bags of chips, and she keeps looking outside looking towards the door when she's grabbing all that stuff? Didn't you guys, like, isn't that an alert right there? And they're like, no, just let us do our job. And I was like, man, come on, man, you guys go to school, or you guys go to all this training. This is what the tribes provides, all these trainings for you guys. But you guys could look for the demeanor of when somebody's lying and when somebody's not. And they're all, no, just let us do our job, just let it be, leave it alone. I was like, no, I'm not gonna leave it alone. I said, I'm gonna go out there and do what I have to do and try to find my cousin and bring her back home. And all those times that we were out there looking for her, though, I kept telling my sisters and my mom and them, when we find her, or if we find her, if somebody does find her, it's not going to be good, and you guys are going to have to, get yourself together and be strong for when they determine on whatever they're going to tell us, the investigator. And when they did determine that she was, that she passed, and oh, that was so devastating. Like, she was somebody, like, everybody in the community knew her. She helped everybody. No matter what, you didn't have to ask her. She just says, oh, well, I'm here. What can I do? Can I help you guys? What can I do? Like, she just had she just had a soul. Her soul was just so joyful and always laughing. Just like Raymond's sister, Cynthia. She was a cool person. I mean, she's my cousin also, but they were both down to earth. They were just so beautiful inside and out. I wouldn't understand why anybody would want to take anybody else's life. For what? Money? I hear a lot of stories now that she's been gone 3 years. I hear a lot of stories that people come and tell us, oh, hey, so-and-so saying this, oh, this person said that, they said this, or they were there. And I'm like, well, how come they don't go tell the police so that we can get justice for her, so that she can rest, be at peace and at rest? But I just want to tell the families out there that, just keep hanging on, because one day we're all going to receive justice, and this is going to get even bigger and bigger. I just want to say thank you guys, and her name is MOLINA YAZZIE.
Thank you. I appreciate these 2 families and the advocacy that they brought in their community and bringing awareness to MMIWG, or everybody. Raylina, where are you? Come here. This is one of the daughters of Cynthia here. Today is her birthday, so I want to honor her and sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rita. Happy birthday to you. Thank you. Are there any other families who would like to share?